few years ago, we at Berklee started a program where we went to Fitchburg State and asked to make a collaboration where our students could score the films that were being made already at Fitchburg State.
The goal of the program is to get Fitchburg State students to collaborate with Berklee film scoring students so that both sets of students actually get the chance to work together on each other's projects.
We really also wanted to give them the opportunity to work with the filmmaker who created the product so that they can get that experience.
There's really two opportunities for Fitchburg State students to work with Berklee film composing students. The first is to contact the Film Scoring Network. The second opportunity is for Fitchburg State students to work with what's called the practicum class.
The Berklee students who are interested in the practicum program have to apply to get in. So they already have a lot of the film scoring skills. They've already recorded in the studio. They've done different kinds of music for different kinds of film projects. And this is really sort of a capstone experience for them to really put that all together in a real-world scenario where they're writing for a real film and a real director.
They would actually treat the student like they're a client, and they would spend the semester working with that student, collaborating on a score, and by the end of the semester the Fitchburg State student would have a fully composed and recorded score.
For my project, it's basically a dialogue scene, and honestly I didn't really think the movie needed music, but I wanted to provide a challenge for myself to talk to a composer and be like, all right, how can you compose this? That I don't think music belongs in this movie, but what can you bring to it? And he talked to me about the different emotions going on in the scene.
You can have anything or anyone you want. I'd assume that that feeling is as close as you're going to get to feeling like God. Whatever happened to Lucy?
So for me, that's kind of like, wow, I never thought of that for that movie. And so take that, bring that to the film.
So after that, once people are hired, they get together and they do what's called a spotting session. So that's really the first meeting point for a director and a composer in any project.
It's been really nice to sit down with a composer and sit down and basically talk about his process of composing music for a film.
In terms of how a director communicates what they want for a composition, ideally the director would have a pretty good idea of what they're looking for.
So sitting down with him and being like, okay, you haven't seen the film yet, but you've read the script, what kind of feelings do you get?
That's really the most important thing to know as a composer is what does the director want in this scene in terms of the story and in terms of the emotions.
And being able to understand that has really helped me kind of figure out how I want to talk to him about composing film.
The more the composer understands about the backstory and the vision and the meaning of the film, the better the music's going to be.
It all comes back to that idea of it's the story that matters to them, and they really want to know what your film is about at the core. And so that's really helped me kind of understand how he works.
Our students were very happy to get the opportunity to work on those films. We're glad that they were films of quality. And the feedback we received from the filmmakers was that they were delighted with the music that our composers came up with.
What the composers have to gain from this process is they get a credit, they get the experience of collaborating with the director, they get to learn how to communicate, how to take directions.
Fitchburg State students get a score free of charge, and they can use that score in their projects in perpetuity, so forever and ever.
And everyone can walk away with a great experience, a great demo reel material, and hopefully lasting collaborations that go into their professional lives.
As a filmmaker, when you work in the actual industry, you're going to be working with composers, you're going to be wanting to work with musicians, and this is just another step for us to understand the filmmaking process and understand how music enhances the story. And if you get involved with this program and understand that, it'll make you better as a storyteller and a filmmaker.